Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. I think today we're going to go through every single one of these emotions because we are talking about the World Cup, also soccer, football, the real name for it, for the rest of us. So anything and everything about football, no question is too stupid because I have plenty of stupid questions to ask from my guest, and also anything about the World Cup, which is upcoming. So I have as my guest, all the way from Brazil, showing his Brazilian pride with his icon, it is Timon.
Heyo.
Hello. Well, I'm so excited for you to be here because you all know your football and you don't play around. Maybe this will be the year that you get your sixth one, the Hexa, I believe it is called.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It would be the third, if we won, it would be the third championship third cup that I watch.
Oh wow. Well, there we go. So let's root for Brazil. I still think I'm supposed to root for America, but right now they're being such jackasses. I think that I've been absolved from rooting for America. There's never a point, anyways, because first of all, we are all a bunch of jackasses. I hate to say that about our soccer team, but both the male and the female has turned into that. And also, we never do very well anyways. We are very ungrateful when it comes to this sport, the biggest sport in the world, everywhere except the United States. Hello, everyone coming in. We have Tommy, we have Zax, Zakrot 315. Hello. Again, anything and everything. No question is too dumb, and I have plenty of them about the World Cup or soccer. Anything you want to know. Um, so Timon, this is the first time I can remember when the World Cup is in the winter for us and the summer for you.
Yes, they choose that just because Qatar is in the Middle East, and there the summer is punishing.
Hmm.
So it's like our calendar for football in Brazil starts around February and ends around November, so that in December and January we don't play in the 40-degree heat.
Mm,
So it's the same thing for Qatar.
yeah. Well, I wasn't following it too closely, but how did Qatar even get it then? Why didn't they say, sorry, your country's too hot?
Oh, you know there's something about money and
Oh,
oil that gets everyone in FIFA with their pockets full. So that's why Qatar won.
oh, of course, I should. Dumb. Well, again, I said there was no such thing as a dumb question, and that was one. Never underestimate the almighty dollar or whatever it is that they have there. Hello, Dreaming Tabitha. Thank you for being here. She says this World Cup will be interesting due to all the restrictions of the country. Yes. And we're going to get into that a little bit, but I'm
Well,
assuming you
uh,
mean.
s-
Sorry, go ahead,
s-
Demo.
some restrictions because when the cup was in Brazil in 2014, there were prohibition of alcoholic beverages in Brazilian stadiums. FIFA got that overturned because power of money,
Mm.
and now is back the prohibition because, well, when people fans of football and beer combined, you kind of get a bad mix.
Hmm.
So the same goes to Qatar's. If I'm not mistaken, the fermented beverages are not allowed in Qatar because of the religion, but in the areas that are FIFA regulated, that let's say that like that, you can drink beer.
Oh, well, there you go. And then Dreaming Tabitha says, "You mean that for the fans?" I think maybe that was something that Timon addressed, but are you talking about anything in particular? Mm, mm,
Well,
I don't know how that's going to work out.
yeah, you had the whole homosexual ban as a crime there, but besides that, you is more of a culture thing than anything else. Yes, they have less human rights there, but those rights are not. I'm not defending them, but those rights are not really in play while the World Cup is happening. Let's say.
Yeah, so any restrictions will not be there. Because I think some people had said concern. What if you're a woman? What if you're gay? And, and it just sucks to be the people of Qatar, I guess,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
guests, because money.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Well, this is for the rest of us where I am not an expert. Even pretty much a normie, even about soccer, even though I love to watch it and have watched it for, you know, I watch it. I watch the Premier League. I watch the Euros. I watch the World Cup, but I don't understand barely a darn thing about it. And so this is a good time to definitely have an expert on somebody from Brazil. I don't think you get much better than that. So I'm going to put up here any question. There's no question too dumb. What questions do you have about football or the World Cup? I want to throw one out here, Timon. What is FIFA even? Like someone that never heard of FIFA before. What is it?
FIFA is the if let me search here the actual words, but is the organization that regulates all football, all professional football in the world. Is, if I'm not mistaken, uh, is in French, is in the translation is Football International Federation Association
Okay.
in a loose translation.
Yeah.
uh, and they uh, they are the bigger, let's say, regulator. Then you have the federations for the countries. Then each country has their own federation style.
Mhm. Okay. And they're also in charge of the Euros too. Am I correct? And
The Euro, the Champions League, and the UEFA Cup are for the who is in charge is the UEFA, is the Europe Federation that how can I say obeys to FIFA, but also argues with it in terms of money and championship dates and whatever. But it's the Europe only. Uh, it takes closely to the Europe federations than FIFA. FIFA more broad uh, organization.
okay.
In South America, we have CONMEBOL, is the UEFA of South America. You guys have the CONCACAF, is Confederation of Central America, North and Central America, something football. And Asia, I have no idea what I call it.
Hmm.
And you have the Oceania. I don't know how the
Oceania.
Australia. Yes, Australia and the rest of those tiny islands.
Okay. Oh well, thank you.
Oh,
Of course,
And Africa.
Africa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreaming Tabitha says the alcohol and the clothing, homosexuality, people being people. Qatar isn't exactly the most inclusive country.
Yep. Yep.
And Zach says less chicks in bikini than in Brazil. Yes. And Shane Nolan says, doesn't America have a major military base in Qatar? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Jacob, hello, saying hello to us, and
Hello.
hello, Keck. Yes. UEFA, yeah, and Shane Nolan is saying UEFA. Of course, I should have known that. Duh, for the Euros. Oh boy, and then the Russians are here. How international! Thank you, mods, for taking care of the Russians. Zach says Russia hosted the previous World Cup. Now, hasn't
Yes,
Russia been excluded from the World Cup this year because of the
the war.
Ukraine? Yeah.
Yes, they Russian lately has been excluded from a lot of sport events. The doping scandal, they were excluded from the Olympics. Now this,
Mm.
yeah,
Sucks to be
um,
Russian. Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. Zach says Brazil hosted, and there was a ton of controversy with that one. What was that about?
Mostly the corruption with the building of the stadiums, and more the internal affairs than actually something that affected the fans or the teams.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, a lot of people who don't like football, they will tell me, "Oh, it's just stupid. They just kick the ball around. They never score, or they can tie." But what would you answer to people that say that that's all there is in football and that it's boring because of that?
Football is, like we say here, it is not a game; it's a religion. Um, Even in Argentina, there is a real religion where Maradona who was a great player. He won the cups of '86, I believe,
Mhm.
86, 82. I don't remember. Uh, and there is not a single boy, man, a teen, a male teen that in his life haven't in Brazil hasn't dreamed of being a football player, and the majority did not. Yes, the hand of God, those cheaters.
Oh,
Uh, yeah,
thanks.
uh,
Thanks.
and the dream is always about the game. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's about the game. Every boy in Brazil, no matter the age, he will have a football.
Mm,
Um, I started to watch. I am a Corinthians fan. This is a team of São Paulo, um, and I didn't. I wasn't born. My dad didn't uh, coach me into to football. I choose to be a Corinthians fan because of an old movie, a black and white movie, Brazilian black and white movie, where it was an old comedy about what would be a redneck in Brazil,
mhm.
and the movie was about his passion of football and how to every game he brought his mule with him. So he wear the team's jersey, and he also made a jersey for the mule.
Oh,
And I watched that movie, and I saw the crest of the team, and was Corinthians. So I liked that crest, so I started to watch the games. First ever championship that I watched, Corinthians played the finals. We lost,
mhm.
but even so, even losing, I love the game.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, so it's definitely part of it sounds a part of your blood in your country. A lot of what you were telling me also about football, like every boy will have a football no matter what their age. I remember in Ireland all the time the boys would be out in the street. just kicking around a football, playing games, setting up little goalposts. Set up goalposts with like your sweater or your jacket, your coat, and it was it was a good time.
And because of the game, scoring a goal is so hard. The goals matter more. You have the rush of emotions that you have when you're uh, seeing your team scoring is so much higher than a lot of other sports like basketball, that you have 100 versus 112,
Hmm.
where other sports like handball you have 40 to 34. Every goal matters so much that I have a special goal that I remember. The goal imprinted so much on me that I remember what I was wearing, where I was in the house watching the game. It was the 96 state championship, the semifinal, Corinthians versus Santos. It was 2-2, and tying goal was this amazing. Uh, I don't know how you say in English. If he, if maybe if Stig was here, he would know because of the British broadcast. But Marcelinho Carioca is the player. He was the uh, midfielder, I believe. I believe in Corinthians, he received the ball from a pass from Tupanzinho. He then, with one touch, made the ball go over the the back of Santos, and then again with one touch the ball, with one kick, he uh, scored. He shoot to the goal, and even Pele said that should have a play to honor the as how beautiful the goal was.
Wow. Yeah, and of course, notoriously over here, the Mexican, the Spanish commentator who will go goal. The struggle is real. When I'm sitting watching with family, we will all literally, when someone scores a goal, we jump up out of our chair, and everyone's like goal. Or even at school soccer games, school football games, we're a good deal of people are Mexican nationals or of heritage, and everyone just does those chants that you would do, even even like a little game of 5 year olds when they score. It's so exciting. It's such a catharsis. That's the word that we use, like just that release of tension that makes it just so much fun. It's like hitting the jackpot. Um,
Yes.
Keck has a question. This is a controversial one, or perhaps controversial. This could be seen as objective. Who are the favorites? Brazil, Spain, Portugal, etc. Like who's the favorite to win?
So we have some teams that are traditional, that no matter what the the situation, they will always be favorites because their own national championship are very strong. So Brazil is obviously always favorite because, well, we participated in every cup
Hmm.
that ever existed. The only one. Uh, I'm here seeing the groups. In Group A, we have Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands. Netherlands is the most traditional. They even in the 70s have they had the Clockwork Orange team because their whole jersey uniform is orange. They in 70s and 80s they had a really strong team, and ever since they are always a competitor. In Group B, we have England, that because they invented the freaking thing. They are always always a contender. Iran, USA, and Wales. Those three are not very like very traditional. So yeah, I don't expect anything from them. Um, Group C, you have Argentina, always a contender. Saudi Arabia, Mexico. Mexico is always the one that it can make your way to the final very difficult, but not so much that you can actually beat them. Poland also not very traditional.
Mhm.
Group D, you have France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. France is always a strong team. Uh, Group E, you have Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan.
Germany.
Of these, yes, Germany, Spain maybe, but not. I don't believe that this year is a year for them. Group F, you have Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Mm,
Belgium.
yeah, but also not as strong. They had stronger teams in previous years. Group G, we have Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. The rest is not very traditional. Group H, you have Portugal. The problem with Portugal is they have only one good player. The rest is mediocre. We have Ghana, Uruguay. Uruguay also not in the best um, place right now, and South Korea. The thing is, you can actually see some difference in playing styles just to observe the continents that those teams are.
Hmm.
For example, South American teams have more skill than most of countries. Uh, African countries are more physique. Asian countries are more into speed. They're faster.
Hmm.
They focus on speed. Uh, European teams have physique and strategy.
Mm.
Uh, and the North Americans and the Australians and the island ones, they can vary depending of the who is in charge of the team at the moment. But mostly, you can actually see those characteristics in depending on the place where the team is from.
Okay. Yeah. Zach says keep an eye out for Huatima and Fleming for Canada. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I don't study so much of other people's teams.
That's understandable. Understandable. And Jamie Tamitha says Iceland was an amazing dark horse. Yes, I remember that World
Yes.
Cup. It was where'd that come from? And of course, Holland is always a
Also,
dangerous team. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
and we have a thing in football that besides our own teams, we will always cheer for the smallest one. No matter, even unless it's Argentina, we will cheer against Argentina all the time. But if it's a small team against a big team, we will always cheer for the small.
Yeah. Well, everyone loves an underdog. The whole Rocky syndrome. Oh, Zach says it was a woman player. Okay. Okay. Understood. So yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, a lot of people are, of course, are talking about Holland. Holland, they always do well. Well, France, don't count them out. I still remember the 2006 or 2008. I forget which year it was in the final when that one French guy headbutted another guy in the head,
Um,
got red carded, got sent
well,
off.
it wasn't the cup. I believe it was in the Champions League. I I
Oh, I
don't.
thought it was in the World Cup
It
final
was
because
it was Zinedine Zidane. I know the headbutt, but I don't think he was playing as.
everybody
Let me
Google.
see.
Yeah, but yeah, that was crazy. And
Is
and And I mean,
Is,
that's dangerous because these people, I mean, their heads, when they're butting, doing headbutts and stuff, that's a lethal weapon. It's um it's same thing with a kid.
yes, it was in. He had but Materazzi from Italy in the World Cup in 2006 against Italy. Yes, yeah, you're right. The thing is that Zidane is of Armenian descent, and the Armenians have some trouble in the Europe in the last let's see, the 30 years of so with Turkey and other things, and going Turkey to have the whole genocide, and
Mm,
when a lot of them went to France, and then some prejudice began, and Materazzi start to call Zinedine some not so polite Armenian names. So yes, he then Zinedine lost his mind and headbutted Materazzi.
yeah. Yeah. Oh wait. Zidane's headbutt is especially dangerous. Huge forehead.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's more. Canada's team: Alfonso Davis and Jonathan David are our best. Okay. I again, I'm a normie, so I don't even know our own American team. I know more of Premier League than I do anything to do with
Yeah.
American.
In the I don't know, maybe 20 years from till now, the Brazilian team has lost a little bit of the support from the Brazil people, because a lot of the players basic never played in Brazil,
Mm,
so it's hard to have the that emotional attachment when you see that everyone left Brazil as a child to play in Europe.
yeah.
It was something that as when I was a kid, it was something to be proud of. That I got three players from my team in the nationals team, and the others no, but I got four, I got five, and now we hope that no one gets removed from the team, so that our team has a chance to winning everything.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I never even thought about that, but you're right because it's like, oh, they play for Man United or they play for
Yeah,
what is it, that one in Paris?
PSG,
Yes, that's the
Paris
one.
Paris Saint Germain.
Yeah, that's the one where everyone seems to go to.
Yeah, the
S
team of Neymar.
Yeah. Yeah. And Soul Assassin says, "Give it a decade, and soccer will be as big as American football here in the States." I think it might. I think it might.
It's already starting with the only problem that I see with the MLS is the way that you organize the championship. You do it like is the NFL championships, and soccer doesn't work quite like that.
Mhm.
Without the delegation relegation of teams that goes the last in most countries, the championship is 20 teams. The four lowest teams goes to the smaller league, and the fourth best team on the smaller league goes to the first league, and this makes things a little bit more exciting, and it how can I say uh, it rewards good football.
Yeah. Eh,
And NFL, if your team sucks all year round, nothing happens to you, and you even get a reward of picking the first guy in the draft.
mhm. Oh,
So
that's a good point. And also, not only is it rewarding good football, but it's so exciting when they're moved up. This year, when Nottingham Forest, for example, when they won what they called it, the 500,000 pound goal, and they had all in lights. We are Premier League. It's exciting.
Yes, even Leicester that when won the championship some years ago. He was straight from the, I don't know how they call the second league of
Eh,
England.
Yeah, they call it the championship, which is weird because they have the Premier League and then the one below them are championship. You'd think the championship would be the higher
Yeah,
one.
in Brazil we call the A League, B League, C League, and D League.
Oh,
Very
that's
easy.
simple. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's easy to remember. I love the promotion system, says Zach, and first division. Okay, yes. Now
yeah.
I haven't been able to follow Irish football ever because we never get anything over here, and I know that if you're talking about your Brazilian players all going over to Premier League and other ones, it's definitely in the case of Ireland. If you get anyone that's any good, and so that their league sometimes isn't just what it should be. Well, it's also a
There
very small country as well.
there are Brazilians in every league in around the world.
Mm, yeah.
So the major leagues, not making a pun, but the major leagues are England, Spain, France, Germany, sometimes Italy, but Italy has dropped a few points on the scale.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say Brazil is one of the major league because is by far the hardest and more um, equal uh, championship around the world, because Spain you have basically three teams that are competing for the prize. England, you have a little bit more of a disparity, a more not disparity, a more number of teams, but every year at least three are for the cup. France, you have only one team that can do everything.
Hmm.
Germany, you have two. Italy, you have one, maybe two. Brazil, you have at least 12
Oh,
teams competing every year for the championship.
whoa. Okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Well, that makes it more fun, probably,
Yes,
than predictable.
yes.
Uh,
You have waves and eras. Corinthians' best era was from 2012 to 2017.
mm,
Now we have Palmeiras and Flamengo dominating. In the early 2000s, you had São Paulo. In the 90s, you have Corinthians, you had um, Fluminense, and São Paulo. So every year we there is a saying here that we call football is a surprise box. You
hmm.
can never actually predict what's going to happen.
Well, cool. Keck44 says, is Salah playing for England?
Um, I don't think so. Let me see. Salah, no, Salah is playing for Egypt, I believe.
Hmm. Yes, I didn't think he's a native, but don't quote me on that either. Everybody Google. So, yeah. Now, as far as World Cup,
Yes,
oh, okay,
yes, Egypt.
Egypt. There we are. Uh, now, the World Cup, you don't play around in the World Cup. It's probably it. No, it is the biggest money maker. Imagine all the gambling that goes on, all the betting. The story that sticks out to me the most from the World Cup is the Colombian situation where there was an own goal, and when he returned home after the match, the Colombia got knocked out because of that own goal, then he was murdered.
Yes, we have the South American is a very political mess. So Colombia, when they had this uh, situation, was in the hands of the FARC, which is a terrorist group, and football is a big deal there. And the moment that you screw up, they may go after you.
Hmm.
In the old days, now not so much. Now is more the terrorist force, the more um, politicalized, and they go more about the old politic ways. Uh, you had you had also some other scandals, I believe, in Mexico. The the same kind of ending results, but they are not very common as you may think.
Hmm. Okay. Shane's pointing out that the IRA were involved with FARC. That yeah, it doesn't surprise me. IRA, they were a terrorist. Well, I don't want to
Oh,
cause controversy.
yeah.
It's
The major terrorist groups in our world are all have a communication network of their own.
mhm. Soul Assassin says, I have family in South America and Mexico, and y'all don't play around with soccer down there. No, especially not in Argentina.
No, no. In Argentina, there was a this comedy TV show here in Brazil. They went to Argentina dressed as Brazilian players, and they went to where some Argentinians were playing football and asked if they could play with them. The end result was one broken leg and one broken arm for the TV show
Yikes.
players. Yeah, you don't go to the, especially the Argentinian, you don't go there and wanted to start a fight. And that's in South America is the biggest issue. Most of the South American countries have an issue with Argentina and not with ourselves.
Hmm.
Brazil and Paraguay, no problem. Brazil and Uruguay, no problem. Brazil and Chile, Chile and Paraguay. When you put Argentina in the middle, then you start to have an issue.
Hmm. Okay, so it's like so it's like Tom Brady. Everyone that sometimes people might be. Okay, you sent me some pictures here. This is just the pitch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So these are basically the official measurements, of course, because we're not Americans using meters. Um, but it's very easy to understand. You have the main rectangle, the field, two parts. Each team defends one goal, try to score on the other. The smaller rectangle in the close to each goal is what we call the little area. I don't know the actual name in English, but that well is where you have the kickoff when you have the ball goes off the field.
Hmm.
The bigger rectangle is the big area, not so um, not very imagination to name things, but that's what it is. Uh, this is the penalty area, where if the defending team uh, makes a fault, he will the attacking team will win a free penalty kick where only the player and the goalie against the goalie. Those semicircles and the midfield circle is the 9 and 15 meters is the distance from any uh, any penalty that uh, is scoring the whole game, even when the is not on the is where the player that is kicking the penalty does no other player can stand near him, at least outside this circle.
Oh,
So even when the kickoff of the match, you have the guy that two guys are in the middle of the field. No other players from the other team are inside that circle. The same from the semicircle in the penalty kick. The center is the where the ball is. The player will kick it, and no other player can come near him in that same is the same distance. And even when you have another fault outside
oh, a free
the
kick.
another free kick, yes, that those 9 and 15 meters are the same distance that will be from the ball to the defending barrier.
Okay,
So
I did not know that.
yeah, we have FIFA kind of let the field have several sizes. If you can see in the top, the overall field can vary from 45 to 90 meters on the width, and 90 to 120 meters in the height. But for FIFA games, uh, there is a fixed uh, pattern of 65 to 105. If I'm not, it's 68 to 105.
Okay,
So in the official FIFA matches and championships, all uh, all pitch are the same size.
okay, that seems fair. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
and then let's see. I think this one oh okay, that's some stats here. This picture is the oh so notorious offsides situation that I sometimes think I understand until I don't understand it. So I don't know if you wanted to explain a little bit about this offsides.
So offside is when you have the attacking team has having an unfair advantage against the defending team. What happened is the blue team here, he has the ball, the white dot, and if this player that has the ball pass to the blue player that is right in front of the goalie, it will be an offside, because the defending line, the last player in the defending line, is uh, behind the attacking player receiving the ball. So
Hmm.
that's it's a unfair advantage, because you could put a guy in the other on the team area and just keep sending balls, and one of them no one defending the ball, and he could easily score like this. The thing is, uh, if the the ball is on the defending team side, your player has to be at least behind the last defending player. If the ball is on the side of the attacking team, and the player, when the ball is kicked, is also on the side of the attacking team, then that doesn't matter, because the offside line only starts to be in play after the the midfield line.
Okay. And I stand corrected. Did I say offside? Offside. Yes, I am Judge Shane. Um, so another way I've heard it told is that you have to have a defender in front of the attacker for it to be onside.
Yes.
Yeah. But also that if say the guy in blue had the the soccer ball, the football, the one close to the goal and was shooting it to the dude who in this picture has the ball, that could be considered onside because of the red guy. Am I correct? And that if he were to shoot from there.
Yes. Not if the guy that is offside does not participates in the play, there is no offside. If he somehow participates, if he gets in the weight of the goalie, if he make a move to receive the ball, but even if he doesn't touch it, is an offside
Oh,
because he makes the other team thinks he will be in the play, so the people will go, the team will designate some defenders to go after him, and while the ball goes somewhere else, something like that.
okay. All right. I I guess the best way for me to say it is, or my view of this whole offside onside, I kind of get it when I see it, but I could not explain it to save my life. And
just just always remember, the attacking team must not receive a pass in front of the defending team. That it. And the last defending player of the defending team.
okay, and that's another way of looking at it. Okay. Well, yay, there we are. And Shane's like, yes, yes, I know. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's ridiculous because I've watched it all the time. I don't understand it. And also, the not just things like this, but there's different formations you can do. There's numbers that go along with it. I don't know. I just watch
The,
the sexy legs.
there are some that defend the thesis that formations are not so much of a big thing, other than player, how can I say, actions are more important than formations.
Hmm.
What each player has to do in the field against some defender or again with their own team members. Uh, most uh, of the formations are they're not that many, but the most used is 4-4-2, which is four uh, four players in the defense, four players in the middle, and two in the offense.
Mhm.
That's the most common tactic that people use. There can be some variations: 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1, 4-1-3-1, 2. It's the coach choice,
Okay.
but mainly you have to the main part of the field that you have to dominate is the middle, is the place that you do the transition between defense and offense. If you dominate the middle, you most likely dominate the match.
Oh. Okay, and speaking of signal and all of these things, this is exactly what it is for me. I it's like the Supreme Court I'm pouring. You know it when you see it. It's like, yes, I've known it when I've seen it, but you've put words to it. It's like, oh, that's what they're doing in the middle of the pitch. It's like, oh gosh, I'm terrible. And then Kick says the ball has to proceed before the last defending player. This is great. And yeah, so that's so that well, because isn't there was a guy Steve was telling me once, a Premier League player or maybe former one who made a whole career out of being a midfielder. That he wasn't a striker or any of that, but that he was just so badass
Yes,
there.
you have a lot of players that really They are most of the time the midfielder are the most skilled players
Hmm.
and the most intelligent one because they are the ones that actually organize the attack of the team. So
Oh.
yes, and they because of their have the have to be quick witted to choose the where they're going to throw the ball into the left, into the right, into the middle, and organize the the attack. Sometimes they are even more important than the actual uh, attacker than the actual goal, the maker of the goal.
Hmm.
Uh, you have a lot of players right now that are famous for it. If I'm not mistaken, Modric was one of them.
Hmm.
Is
Yeah, Shane says Roy Keane of Manchester United.
yes, is another one. Uh, Kaká, I believe, was also a Brazilian player in the 2000s. Uh, he got the World Cup, no, the best, the Golden Ball for best player,
Ah.
Ballon d'Or in badly speaking French. Uh, you have a lot of Lionel Messi is an example of that. He's much more, even though he scores a lot, he's much more of a uh, organizer of his attack than an actual attacker.
Hmm. Okay. Speaking of Messi, he, something was going on today. People were complaining about him. Did he do an interview that made people mad? Did you follow that?
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. It wasn't in the news here.
Okay. Yeah, Man United people apparently were not very happy, I guess. I don't know. All right. And then let's go over here. It looks like you have some stats for us from the World Cup.
This is an art that I did a couple of months ago,
Hmm.
and that states something very clearly that if the word for the game in your country derive from football, you're good at it, or at least competent.
Hmm.
If it does derive from the S word, you suck at it. So we have there Brazil with 5 cups. The word is football. Is
Hmm.
derived from football. We have Italy is calcio is means to kick a ball, to kick a football.
Hmm.
You have Germany is football, also from football. France football. Argentina is the Spanish word football. Same for Uruguay, Spain, England. Uh, even though some say that the S word came from England, yes, it came, but it came from the um, how can I say from the rich people trying to come down on
Yeah, they're
the
trying to
poor.
put them down. It was a
Yeah,
slur.
yes. So even then, if you go to England, if you ask what is the name of the player that plays football, they call it a footballer.
Hmm.
So it's football.
Yeah.
So all those until England are the winners of the cup. Italy has 4, Germany has 4, France has 2, Argentina has 2, one was cheated, Uruguay has 2, Spain has 1, and England has 1. Uh, Canada and so in USA are the only 2 teams uh, that still use soccer as the nomination of the game. Even Australia recently changed the word soccer to football.
Mm.
So they're saying something.
To me, it makes sense because it's what you play with your foot. It's pretty
Yeah,
straightforward, but there's reasons with America. We have first American football. Also, our issues with England. I don't know that.
Yeah, but football is not an English game anymore. Is if an alien race went to Earth and ask which is, and not even ask, just watch which is the game that is played everywhere. It's football.
Hmm.
It's it's easy to it's a game that is easy to play because, and as I was a kid, I didn't have a football field to play with. We play in the street. Even in my street, which has cobblestones, we play football even in the cobblestone. We lost a few toenails, but we still play.
Fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
not so fun when you kick a cobblestone, but
oh no.
yes.
Oh yeah, stubbing the toe. That ouch. Yeah. Okay. Shane Dillon says Messi said something about the Argentina team weakness or not thinking they will win this year.
Oh, okay.
Um.
I've seen this in a couple. Uh, we call in South America we call round tables for discussing football matters in TV shows and such.
Okay.
So I've saw a lot of those discussions, and when they compare Argentina to Brazil, they say that both teams have great players, but Brazil is the only one that has a great team. So, and Argentina doesn't have it, uh,
Mm.
as as some other countries like France doesn't have a great team, has a lot of great players but not great teams. So that means that their player doesn't, they don't have uh, a field communication like the Brazilian players has. They have them, they don't work together that well as some other teams. Like I believe England also is said to have a good team.
Hmm. Okay. Well, there you have it. There we have it. All right, and as we wrap up this party here, anyone from the chat or heck, anyone who's listening, maybe in the replay and wants to ask something in the comments, please let us know. It said, O'Shea Nolan says, cohesion and teamwork. Mhm. Is there any final thoughts that you have or anything you want to sum up, Timon, about football in general or the World Cup? I love this. I'm sorry. Before that wasn't fair because I asked you a question and then I started to comment. I wanted to say I like this visual. It's good. This is good for people like me that I can see that and have it there. So well done. 2 thumbs up.
Thank
Okay, and now your question. I'm sorry. I just pulled a woman there.
you. You in the World Cup you have a basically it's there are 7 games that you have to win win the cup. The first 3 games, if I'm correctly, they are the qualifying. So then you have the distribution for the brackets. Uh, there is one thing that I did not mention, that every year we have the death group, which this year I believe that it is a group that all the teams are so on the same level that you don't know which team of the group will go forward in the competition. This, let me see here. I believe that this year is the E group, the Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan,
Okay.
and this is the. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
I'm this is I believe we have a really good competitive team for the cup. And the thing you also I believe that you could see the smaller games depending on the people broadcasting. We had a subsidiary of the Fox channel here in Brazil, the Fox Sport, that for the matches that no one would want to see, like I don't know, Cameroon and Serbia, not very prominent teams, but they put uh, comedians to narrate the game, and it was one of they started this in the 2014 Cup, and it was one of the best games you could actually watch, because every time some player did a screw up, they give like a point for each screw up, a point for yellow card, a point, and then they in the final of the match they see the point who was the worst player. So
That's fun.
the narrator makes a difference if you enjoy the game or not. If
Hmm.
he can uh, transmits the emotion of the game, you eventually will start to like it.
Oh, well, there you go. And there's no better time, in my humble opinion, to start to get into football than during the World Cup because everyone's talking about it and it's fun. And if you don't have to worry about what club you're gonna support, you're gonna cover your own country unless you're me.
And is and you have the best players together of all around the world.
Hmm.
Even now, in Europe, you have the best players. You have not all the teams have 11 players that are uh, the top of in their field. You may have
Hmm.
one, two, three. The others will come. What we call they will finish the team. They will complete the team. But in World Cup, you have the cream of the crop.
Mm, good point. Well, there you have it. So, uh, once again, I want to thank everyone that participated. Thank you, Shane. We had Keck, we had Dreaming Tabitha. Let me see. And Zax is here. If I'm missing anyone, Soul Assassin. Thank you so much for your questions and for the conversation, Keck44. Also, thank you to Timon for coming in and football splaining to me and to the chat. We need it. We need it. Especially me. I learned a long time ago you can't fake it. I could pretend, oh, I'm this big football fan and I know everything about it. It's like, no, I like to watch it. I don't understand it, but I do have so much fun watching the
We
games.
have a saying. The people in the fans of my team, Corinthians, we have a saying that we don't like football. We like Corinthians.
Oh, there you are. And Shane says, thank you, Timon and Teresa. Enjoy the tournament. Yes, starts on the 20th. So that's this Sunday, I believe. So,
Yes,
yeah.
I believe we will start with Qatar and someone else. Let
Mm,
me see. The
yeah.
first the first game of the cup is always the the countries who's having
Hosting?
who's hosting the cup, and one of the A team, the A group teams.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. So it's going to be Qatar versus not America.
Now against Ecuador, Senegal, or Netherlands. I believe it will be Ecuador.
Ecuador. Okay. Well, enjoy everybody. And once again, thank you to everyone, the great chat, and Timon. And have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. Be certain to be on side.